Viewers, just days after Rahul Gandhi vowed to fight the Indian state, I'm sure you remember what he said. The Congress party is mulling the idea of a civil disobedience movement against the Modi government, viewers. This move is steeped in historical symbolism. It evokes memories of India's struggle against the British colonial rule, a fight against an imperial, unaccountable power that suppressed the will of the people. By invoking this spirit of civil disobedience, the Congress, it appears, is drawing a parallel between the Modi government and the British Empire, viewers, framing the current administration as a tyrannical force that warrants mass resistance. Think about it. Is this comparison justified, or is it a dangerous overreach that risks the undermining of legitimacy of a democratically elected government? Viewers, Mahatma Gandhi's leadership of the disobedience movement against the British was rooted in the reality of the colonial subjugation, an unelected foreign power imposing its will on an entire nation. The Modi government, by contrast, is the product of India's democratic process, elected not once but thrice by the popular vote. To equate this government with the imperial tyranny is to clearly blur the lines between dissent and delegitimization, between opposition and insurrection. Congress's mindset, viewers, seems to be one of defiance, not just against policies or governance, but against the very legitimacy of the democratic state itself. Viewers, don't get me wrong. This is not to say that dissent has no place in democracy. In fact, robust opposition is the lifeblood of a healthy democratic system. Congress has every right to critique the Modi government's policies, but by declaring fight against the Indian state and announcing this disobedience, Congress is undermining democracy. It's as if the Congress views Modi government not as a political adversary to be challenged through parliamentary means, but as an existential threat to be uprooted through mass disruption. Because this mindset is not just defiant, it is disruptive, potentially destabilizing, and raises questions about the Congress's commitment to the Jai Samvidhan slogan that they chant, to the democratic framework it claims to defend. Viewers, the legacy of the civil disobedience is a sacred one. It is tied to India's fight for freedom. To invoke it lightly and to use it to revive political fortunes of a party is to diminish its moral weight, and it is quite frankly flirting with danger.
If you believe that we are fighting a political organization called the BJP, that we are fighting a political organization called the RSS, you have not understood what is going on. The BJP and the RSS have captured every single institution of our country. We are now fighting the BJP, the RSS and the Indian state itself.
तो अगर मीडिया चर्चा नहीं करेगा, अखबारें चर्चा में, प्रिंट मीडिया तो चर्चा होगी कहाँ? पार्लियामेंट में चर्चा नहीं होगी तो कौन सा ऐसा एवेन्यू है, कौन सा ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ चर्चा होगी? या हो गई वहां जब लोग सड़कों पे आ जाएंगे, सिविल डिसोबीडियंस होगी, जब लोग अपने हक पहचानेंगे कि संविधान के नीचे वी द पीपल, हम हकदार बन के हम बोलेंगे। ये पहले देश ने देखा है और भविष्य में होगा ये।
Let's open this up. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Karan Verma needs no introduction. Kamruzaman Chowdhury ji, Professor Monojit Mondol, Ravi Srivastav, all political analysts, and Muhammad Tariq Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, completes the panel. Kamruzaman ji, why does the Congress party now want to go for a civil disobedience movement? Can you not differentiate between a democratically elected government and an imperial power?
Pranesh, you must understand, first of all, opposing Modi, opposing BJP, opposing RSS is not spreading anarchy. The first point and the first lesson of a democratic country is dissent and democracy go together. If we dissent along against the ruling government, it does not mean that we are against the nation. It is only the dissent that has strengthened Indian democracy over the years. Be it when it was the Congress ruled, when Indira Gandhi imposed the emergency also, that time also she was removed from the government, a new elected government came in place, subsequently Congress ruled the country, now the BJP is ruling the country. Each and every step that we take forward with a dissent and democracy going hand in hand strengthens the nation only. But what's happening out here is when we oppose Narendra Modi's policies, when we oppose BJP government's ruthless suppression of opposing forces, then we are termed as anti-national, urban Naxals or Soros gang or what not. But that's not the way that we should be functioning. We need to be having a healthier discourse in the country, a debate that includes every thought, every opinion, rather than having a majoritarian state which Narendra Modi, the RSS and the BJP wants to impose.
This is a majoritarian state, you see. Kamruzaman Chowdhury ji, 1 minute.
Laws
No, 1 minute. So what do you mean by majoritarian state? What do you mean by majoritarian state?
A majoritarian state which believes in imposing its own people at the helm of all the institutions in the country, where people do not have a right to what they eat, where they want to live, how they want to roam in the streets, how they want to go about their education, what religious practice they have.
Just think about it. Viewers, I want you to... No, 1 minute. You see,
the people
this
in the
is
country.
what happens when the Congress party and the ecosystem, they run out of answers. This is what they peddle. Kamruzaman Chowdhury ji started on the right note. In fact, I said it in my introduction that dissent is the lifeblood of democracy. I said it, viewers. You can rewind and listen to it. But Kamruzaman Chowdhury ji is saying that majoritarian state, that people don't have the right to make their own choice. Kamruzaman ji, this is such a majoritarian state and such a tyrannical government that Rahul Gandhi can say whatever he wants, still he is not in jail. He can call him Modani, Chor, etc. But still he is not in jail. It is such a majoritarian and tyrannical government under Modi that Rahul Gandhi gets away by saying that I will not just take on the BJP and RSS, but the Indian state itself. Come on, sir. You know, you have to now come up with facts to at least defend your leader. There is a leader of the Congress party, your Delhi chief, I think, who said this zero is different from the other zeros that we've had in the last 3 elections. Now, I don't want to digress, but this is the mindset. The Congress, it seems, can pretty much defend anything under the sun. Let me bring in Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava ji, viewers, excuse me, I have a bad throat. Ravi Srivastava ji, ये पहले तो राहुल गांधी ने कहा कि इंडियन स्टेट, उसके बाद लोगों ने उसमें कॉन्टेक्स्ट बताया. चलिए, अब रेणुका चौधरी बोल रही है सिविल डिसोबीडियंस अगेंस्ट अ डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट.
Pranesh, good evening. First of all, civil disobedience is a fundamental right of any individual. It cannot be taken away. It is given by the Constitution. One has a right to raise his voice against the tyrannical government, against the government policies, against all kind of suppression, oppression, what the ruling dispensation wants to do. What Rahul Gandhi clarified was that all institutions have been captured by the BJP RSS nominees. Now there is no avenue left. And what do you expect? Rahul Gandhi is the leader of opposition. He has to raise the voice of the oppressed people, the sufferers. Well, what do you expect? Like 240 other MPs of the BJP, he also starts thumping the table when Mr. Modi opens his mouth. Do you expect it? He has to raise the voice of the people. They are being tortured, the women being raped. The case he rigged up today, that the women who was subjected to a torture has been, kept in the house. And those who molested her are roaming free. This kind of administration, this kind of law and order, we expect in the country. So what is wrong in it?
What is
If he
wrong?
says,
What
yes,
is wrong in it, Sanju
disobedience
Verma?
is the-
You have great expectations from Rahul Gandhi. You should lower your expectations.
Pranesh, first and foremost, let's get one thing very clear. Renuka Chowdhury, Manoj Kumar Jha of the RJD and Sanjay Raut giving an interview to whom? To Kapil Sibal, who was a Congress Darbari for the longest time and then switched sides to Samajwadi Party simply so that he could be accommodated in the Rajya Sabha. All these four people, they don't have reed ki haddi, basic spine nahi hai, sirf Modi ko gaaliyan dena, inka din raat ka dincharya ho chuka hai. And Renuka Chowdhury says, oh, these people all the time they keep saying Congress, Congress, Congress. We are not obsessed with Congress. We are not obsessed with Pandit Nehru. But आपको आईना दिखाया जाएगा, बार-बार दिखाया जाएगा, लगातार दिखाया जाएगा. And don't forget, for people who say that there's no freedom of speech in India, this is what Rahul Gandhi said at Cambridge in 2023 at an event that was attended by young impressionable minds. He said, in my view, Narendra Modi is destroying the very architecture of India. So I'm not bothered about his 2 or 3 good policies. If he is blowing our country to smithereens, he is imposing an idea on India that India cannot absorb. India, as I said, is a union of states. It is a negotiation, and if you try to force one idea on a union, it will react. Imagine, this is the kind of balderdash, this is the kind of incendiary remark that Rahul Gandhi makes on foreign soil. Last year, what does he do?
Right.
Rahul Gandhi visits Georgetown, he visits Texas, and he says, in India, Sikhs are not allowed to wear a turban, Sikhs are not allowed to visit Gurudwaras, Sikhs are not allowed to wear a kada. And who endorses Rahul Gandhi? It is Khalistani radical Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. And the entire Congress ecosystem starts clapping for Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. So this is the kind of gibberish that is being peddled under the garb of free speech. But my final point is this. Here everybody talks about majoritarian rape ho gaya. I remember in 2023, there was a handicapped girl who was gang raped in Alwar, and Priyanka Vadra was busy celebrating Sonia Gandhi's birthday at Ranthambore National Park.
Let's get in Tushar Gupta, Karan Verma on what we began with. Tushar, to you first. Would you like to tell Kamruzaman ji, Ravi Srivastav, the difference between dissent and this civil disobedience or Rahul Gandhi's idea of fighting the Indian state?
Good evening, Pranesh. No, I would like to ask a question. I would like to ask Mr. Kamruzaman Chowdhury, who says there is no freedom in Modi's India, that why does he come to a national debate every evening at 8 p.m. and speaks his mind? Why doesn't he take to the roads? Why doesn't Ravi Srivastav, who thinks civil disobedience is a fundamental right, is on national debates for the last 4 or 5 years and not taking to the roads? I'll tell you the truth, Pranesh. These people can't get on the roads. They do not have the spine for it. They do not have the cause for it. They are rebels without a cause on television. Forget what they can do on the roads. But Rahul Gandhi is making a larger point. So Renuka Chowdhury, when she makes that point about civil disobedience, she's just extending what Rahul Gandhi is saying. Fight the Indian state in whatever capacity you can. And why do they want to do that? Because caste census, social revolution, equity.
Right.
Look at the words being used by the Congress again and again, recycle it. But the motto remains the same, Pranesh. Divide the Hindu vote, consolidate the minority vote, win elections. Everything Congress does only leads to this one single objective. It must be remembered.
And there's a minister, by the way, in Karnataka, a Congress leader, who reprimanded the cops and said, why did you go to a Muslim area? Now, this is the mindset, the Hindu areas and Muslim areas, even for governance. Let's bring in Mr. Tariq Khan. Tariq bhai, पहले शुरू हुआ fight the Indian state. अब dissent के नाम पे ये disobedience और defiance.
Article 12 of the Constitution defines what is a state. You can go through it. That what all includes a state. Okay, local bodies, local authority, everything includes state. Okay. Now, I am not able to understand when a policeman says to a leader, to a local leader during this poll of Milkipur, that you are meeting, तुम अखिलेश से मिल रहे हो. मट्टी में मिला दूंगा. That policeman is not a part of state. He is not acting towards Bharatiya Janata Party and not acting like an agent of Bharatiya Janata Party. You can assume that. If somebody is saying that we need to fight those people and they are part of the state, it's quite fair to say this. Point number one. Point number two. In Korea and in China, when Prime Minister said that I am ashamed to be a Indian, that brings pride to India. Something being said to India, something being said bad to India by Narendra Modi is a pride to India.
नहीं, क्या बोल रहे हैं? क्या बोला था प्रधानमंत्री ने?
प्रधानमंत्री ने बोला था कि शर्म आती है भारत में पैदा होने पे.
अच्छा।
पहले लोगों को शर्म आती थी. आप जैसे पैदा हुए भारत में आपको शर्म आती होगी और पैनल पे बैठे हुए लोगों को शर्म आती होगी. इससे क्या हुआ? सीना चौड़ा हो गया भारत. और क्या हुआ? बड़ा टाइम दिया है, मैंने जोड़ा है 2 मिनट 25 सेकेंड आपने बीजेपी को दिया है. मुझे लगता है 1-1.5 मिनट तो मुझे दे ही देंगे आप. अच्छा, राहुल गांधी ने गलत कहा हो, मैं मान सकता हूं. अगर ये चर्चा हो रही है, मैं मान सकता हूं राहुल गांधी ने. लेकिन राहुल गांधी ने अगर इंडिया के बारे में कुछ टिप्पणी बाहर कर दी तो सीना सुकड़ गया. और मोदी ने कहा चौड़ा हो गया. हमें शर्म आती है कि हम इंडियन सॉइल पे पैदा हुए थे. शर्म से झुक जाता है. ये सब मोदी कहे, प्राइड की बात है. प्राइड चाइना में कहे, कोरिया में कहे, भारत का मान बढ़ेगा. ये कैसा कंपैरिजन मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. अगर जो लोग हैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के स्टेट की तरह काम करेंगे, पुलिस, डीएम, एसपी, तो कहने पे मजबूर हो जाएंगे. 5 पुलिस वालों को सस्पेंड किया गया. वो लोग बंदूक की नोक पे कह रहे थे वोट नहीं डालने दे. दे आर ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ द स्टेट. जो बाई इलेक्शन हुए उनको सस्पेंड किया गया. उनको ऑर्डर कोई नहीं दे रहा था.
अगर आप चुनाव जीत जाते तो सब ठीक था. जैसे लोकसभा में आपके सीटें आ गई तो सब ठीक था. तब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं था. या मिल्कीपुर का दर्द देखिए साफ बाहर आ रहा है. यहां तक स्टूडियो तक आ रहा है. तारिक भाई, आप जितनी मशक्कत करते हैं ये समय देखने में किसने कितना बोला, अगर आप थोड़ा डिबेट का लेवल एलिवेट करेंगे तो व्यूअर्स को भी मजा आएगा सर. वो भी सुनते हैं. बट आपने जो कमेंट, नहीं 1 मिनट, आज एक ये क्लियर करना पड़ेगा. ये जो आपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर का कोट बोला और क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट था वो आपको करण वर्मा समझाएंगे क्या बोला. करण, लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ बस्टिंग दिस फेक्टरी.
Pranesh, to start with, it's important to understand the meaning of certain terms. पहले तो तारिक जी ने अभी कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री ने बाहर जाके क्या कहा. Here Rahul Gandhi on 15th January said in as many words, we are fighting the Indian state. आपको पता होना चाहिए ऑफेंसेस अगेंस्ट द स्टेट अगर हम बीएनएस में भी चले जाएं, अंडर सेक्शन 148, 147, what it says is waging war against the state of India. मतलब he is technically liable to be booked under this offense. खुद बोल रहे हैं we are fighting the Indian state. So let's make a demarcation between the two. Someone going out and making a statement about what he feels about India and someone saying fighting the Indian state, there is a glaring difference between the two. Now, similarly, Mr. Ravi Srivastava said civil disobedience is a right. इनको civil disobedience का जरा मतलब पता होना चाहिए. Civil disobedience, अगर आप कुछ भी उठा ले, वेबस्टर उठा लीजिए, आपको जो भी अच्छा encyclopedia लगे, what it means is refusal of citizens to obey the laws of the government of the day. Can you imagine, Pranesh? This is the textbook definition of anarchy. We are not under some colonial imperial power where we can refuse to obey the laws of the state. You are liable to be booked right away. This is not your fundamental right. आप जेल जाओगे इसमें अगर आप refusal to obey the laws करोगे. There is a difference between protest, there is a difference between dissent and a difference between civil disobedience. Try and understand these differences. And Pranesh, the mother of all ironies is this entire conclave was done by Kapil Sibal, the man who is the architect of section 66A, where for an offensive tweet, offensive deemed by the state, you and I could even land up in jail for 3 years. This man today is pontificating to others about freedom of speech, about how democracy is under threat. He created the section 66A. So Pranesh, the fact of the matter is, अब दिल के अरमान इनके जुबान पे आ गए. कभी north versus south, कभी can a Sikh wear a turban in India, कभी any other fault line, be it along caste lines attacking the infrastructure. The fact is they are in a state of war with the Indian state. They are resorting to civil disobedience. And they should be labeled as anti-nationals. I mean, we should not hold our punches in saying this when they are admitting it by their own mouths. So this is where we stand today. We have a law and order situation versus lawless people who want to wage war against the state.
Professor Mondal, What do you make of the two comments that we're discussing, sir? Fight against the Indian state and this, call for a civil disobedience against the Modi government?
So I think civil disobedience is quite a legitimate tool if it is used properly without creating violence on the street, as BJP often does in Bengal. You saw it a few months back in the wake of the Arjikar movement, how the police people were injured. I think two of them lost their eyesight. That's what is anarchy. This is not civil disobedience. But if you have a Gandhian way of movement like fasting or peaceful protest, and that can also be a kind of civil disobedience, like Mamta did during the left front regime. 26 days of hunger strike. That is also a kind of civil disobedience. It depends on how you are weaving off your dissent, your idea of protest. But when you hit the streets with weapon, with stones, pelting stone, you are bringing lathis, attacking police.
Professor Mondal, because you're talking about Mamta Didi.
That cannot be construed as
the campaign that she led against the left.
Yes,
is well documented, and kudos to what she did single-handedly to fight the oppressive regime. Had Vivek Srivastava been on the panel, he would be jumping. When I link oppression to what the left was doing in West Bengal. But I want to ask you about Congress and Rahul Gandhi. This civil disobedience is what they are doing with their allies. Look what they did with the Aam Aadmi Party. Look, all of you are doing with the Congress party. If you really believe that the Congress party can take on the Modi government, you should all stand with Rahul Gandhi.
No, we really don't believe that in one single political party, be it Congress or any other political party, can beat this dispensation. And for us, definitely Rahul Gandhi is our leader. The Congress's leader is Rahul Gandhi, definitely is. But for us, it is Mamta Di. We'll talk about Mamta Di's leadership only, right? The Congress is a different political party. They will have different ideas about.
I understand. I am talking about the means. No, 1 minute.
Level.
In democracy, means are everything, sir. Look what the Congress has been doing.
Hang on. I have given you illustrations. They are just thinking about it. What the Congress will do on the ground is that their problem. But if someone is,
no, it is all of our problem. No. It's not just Congress's problem, sir. We are all equal. No. In democracy, Professor Mondal, we are all equal stakeholders. We can't look the other way. When a Sam Pitroda says, people from Northeast India look like Chinese, we can't say, look, it is between the people of Northeast and Sam Pitroda or the Congress party. No, that's not the right approach. We must take a stand. Speak our mind. It can be unpopular to many people. That's okay. That can happen. Kamruzaman ji, has the Congress party run out of ideas that you have to now fall back on these things?
Okay, fine. Let me give you first a clarification with a small example. When Rahul Gandhi said that our fight is against the system which are corrupted by the BJP and the RSS, and our fight is against the same system that of the Indian state that these agencies have created. Let me cite you a very small example from Gujarat. A apartment was sealed by the Gujarat government that was of a Muslim lady who purchased in the Hindu locality. This is the deep state that the Indian state is now considered synonymous with. Because when you go and say that this is a Hindu area and this is a Muslim area, this is a prime example of how the state is actively involved in dividing the societies in India. And Congress party and the entire opposition is fighting this tooth and nail, and this is what we call our dissent and democracy's fight. You cannot just simplify and say that, okay, Kaju ka roti will solve one problem. Mind you, Tushar Gupta ji, we come here not to have your motichur ka laddu. We come here to discuss the issues that the nation is plaguing with. You cannot turn a one-side narrative and say that whatever Narendra Modi, the BJP and the RSS is doing is good for the nation.
1 minute, sir. With the greatest of respect and regards. 1 minute, sir. Listen to this now. 1 minute. The Gujarat example. फिर आपने यही बोला कि मोदी जी ने चाइना में ये बोला था. Context तो दीजिए. Say the full thing. Do you know one of your Congress leaders in Karnataka said Muslim area, should I play out the reaction? You will be embarrassed. Are there exclusive Muslim enclaves in the country? Sir, tell me.
Do you support the Gujarat government?
Pranesh, 1 second. Kamruzaman Chowdhury, you speak your mind every day on national television. No one stops you. No one counters you. No one disagrees or disrupts your speech. And then you say there is no freedom of speech. Or kitna freedom chahiye, bhai? You are not here to debate. You are not worthy of debating on a national television. Yet you are what the Congress can afford. And yet you are the one who comes to debate every night. So do not say that the freedom of speech has ended in this country. In fact, people like you, incompetent spokespersons like you of a party that is not winning elections, tell us that there is still freedom of speech in this country, that people like you can speak their mind every night, accuse the government of imaginary crimes that you make up in your imaginary holes every evening. That is the freedom of speech. That is the status here. And Kamruzaman Chowdhury, again, this is not about Moti Chur ka laddu or Kaju ki roti. Don't try to make this debate frivolous. This is a very serious subject. When Renuka Chowdhury says civil disobedience movement, what is she raking up a movement against? What is the core issue? Can you name one core issue? Can you? Today in this country, there are people who are not going to pay income tax up to an income of 12 lakh rupees per annum. I'll tell you a fact, Kamruzaman Chowdhury. In 2013, it was your government that was considering a 40% income tax on people who earn more than 10 lakhs because you had mismanaged the economy to that extent. So don't talk to me about freedom of speech.
But Sanju Verma wants to respond to the specific point. You know, let's not get personal here with each other. Let's counter each other with facts.
You know, I completely endorse what Tushar has said. And now speaking of facts, let me just say one thing. Kapil Sibal was castigated by the Supreme Court no less last year while advancing his arguments on behalf of the Mamata Banerjee government on the floor of the Supreme Court in the horrifying Arjikar rape and murder case. Kapil Sibal actually started laughing and chuckling when CJI then, Justice Chandrachud asked him why was FIR filed 3 hours after the cremation of the dead girl. So this is the kind of person who's today waxing eloquent about free speech. I always say, Pranesh, there is a difference between dissent, D-I-S-S-E-N-T and D-E-S-C-E-N-T. The Congress does not know the meaning of D-I-S-S-E-N-T. The Congress, in a race to the bottom, is breaking every rule in the rule book and has descended to the depths unimaginable. Because let me say very quickly one thing. You know, बार-बार कहा जाता है that the judiciary is sold out. This is the same Congress party. Be it Justice Ranganath Mishra, be it Justice Baharul Islam, be it Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, be it Justice K.S. Hegde, be it Justice Aftab Alam, be it Justice F.I. Ribello, be it Justice Hasnain Masoodi. ये सब कांग्रेस के दरबारी थे जिनको चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ मैसूर हाई कोर्ट, गुजरात हाई कोर्ट, इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट बनाया गया. Then you keep attacking our election commission. You keep attacking CEC Rajiv Kumar. Has Rahul Gandhi forgotten during the time after Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, the then CEC TN session stalled the election process for a full 3 weeks ताकि राजीव गांधी की अस्थि विसर्जन का जो कलश था वो लेकर कांग्रेस पार्टी ने पूरे भारत का भ्रमण किया था. This is the same TN Session who was Defense Secretary under Rajiv Gandhi, Cabinet Secretary under Rajiv Gandhi, Environment Secretary under Rajiv Gandhi.
I want to just clarify this for Kamruzaman Chowdhury ji. He was talking about what happened in Gujarat. Karan, would you like to shed more light on it? Because look, if we don't if we let this go unanswered, Kamruzaman Chowdhury ji and many in the ecosystem would think that look, this is the reality. Now, what happens, Kamruzaman ji, that because of the Disturbed Area Act, the property before you transfer it has to be registered, and the buyer and seller both must obtain prior approval of the एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन विच इज द डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर. ये रूल है सर 1991 से, आई थिंक, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. तो ये दिस इज नॉट आर्बिट्ररी. करण.
No. So I'm glad, Pranesh, you pointed out the rule, but there is one place where the chief minister of the state went on to say ये हिंदू इलाके हैं, ये मुस्लिम इलाके हैं, and that chief minister happens to be Mamta Banerjee. But Kamru Zaman will not say a word about Mamta Banerjee, where even during the panchayat polls, 53 people were killed, thousands of seats go unopposed. There, Kamru Zaman doesn't speak a word. There is a deafening silence. For him, their democracy is flourishing in full flow. But he has a problem with Narendra Modi, with RSS, with all places where there is opposition, where there is freedom of speech. But in Bengal, he doesn't have a word to say, where exactly this statement verbatim was said by Mamta Banerjee. Ye Hindu ilake hain, ye Muslim ilake hain. Can he condemn that today on your channel? Does he have a word to say about what's happening, or you want to co-opt them in the India alliance where she's not even interested
response, Professor
in being with
Mondal,
you
I'm
because you
sure
are a
has a
political
thing or two
liability?
to say. Boliye, sir.
No. What do I respond to these cannibalistic lies on TV? This person is known for spreading hate against Bengalis. What did she talk about this kind of things? Just show me that speech. What are you talking about? Every other day you are spreading hate against the Bengal government and the people of Bengal. And you talking about Arjikor, how badly you lost that case in Supreme Court. You could not prove anything. You could not even ensure, death penalty for that victim. That is your CBI. Shame on you. Shame on you for maligning Bengal and the people of Bengal every other day by spreading this kind of malicious and satanic lies.
तारिक भाई, ये जो एक माइंडसेट की हम बात कर रहे हैं, जहां नेताओं ने पूरे सोसाइटी को एक वोट बैंक की तरह बांट दिया है. ऑब्वियसली ये जो शुरुआत है, इसमें तो कांग्रेस का सबसे बड़ा हाथ है. इनफैक्ट दोनों हाथ लगा दिए उन्होंने. सेक्युलरिज्म के नाम पे जो ये फ्रॉड किया इन्होंने, ये मुस्लिम एरिया है, ये एरिया है, यहां से वोट आएगा, यहां से नहीं मिलेगा. और अब जो ये माइंडसेट है ऑफ टेकिंग ऑन द इंडियन स्टेट, अब लार्जर क्वेश्चन समझिए कि जो लोग जय संविधान का नारा देते हैं, जैसे आप लोग तो लोहियावादी हैं, समाजवादी हैं, आप तो संविधान में मानते हैं, तो उसमें ये डिसोबीडियंस कहां से आ गया, ब्लॉकेड पॉलिटिक्स कहां से आ गया, डिफायंस कहां से आ गया कि कोई जो एक नेता है जो कैबिनेट का पार्ट भी नहीं है और वो आके इतनी हिम्मत करता है कि बोलता है कि मैं ऑर्डिनेंस फाड़ दूंगा या फाड़ देना चाहिए.
नहीं, देखिए, इस तरीके के डिसोबियंस का सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, सीधी सी बात. लेकिन अगर बंगाल में कुछ गलत होता है, बहन के साथ रेप होता है, लोग सड़क पे आते हैं, ये आंदोलन है. अगर आंदोलन को आप कहने लगेंगे कि ये नहीं होगा, तो भारत की आत्मा आंदोलन है. हम आंदोलन के द्वारा ही आजादी मिली है भारत. और आप कह रहे हैं कि सोसाइटी को डिवाइड कर रहे हैं फर्जी सेकुलर. तो जब 80-20 कहा गया यूपी में, तो योगी साहब ने यूनाइट किया था उत्तर प्रदेश को. 80-20 का नारा दिया. कौन है 80 और कौन है 20? तब यूनाइट किया. जब मोदी कहते हैं आपको मंगलसूत्र छीन ले जाएंगे और आपके जो गाय भैंस हैं सब ले जाएंगे कुछ लोग, वो भी यूनाइट करना हुआ. यू आर यूनाइटिंग बाय सेइंग दीज थिंग्स. इफ द अदर साइड इज नॉट यूनाइटिंग, दैट मीन्स यू आर ऑल्सो हैविंग the same type of politics, that is simply means to divide the nation and the people of the nation.
Coming to it quickly, ma'am.
Thank you. Pranesh, I just want to say Tariq Khan, I want to tell him one thing. हाल ही में मिल्कीपुर में इलेक्शन हुई with a 30% Dalit population. Our BJP candidate won hands down. उत्तर प्रदेश में 2.5 महीने पहले 9 जगह पर बाइपोल हुआ. समाजवादी पार्टी स्कोर्ड a score of 2 out of 9 with a pathetic strike rate of 22%. BJP had a strike rate of 78%. समाजवादी पार्टी की जो ये पूरी राजनीति है, पीडीए, पिछला समाज, दलित समाज, आप लोगों ने कुछ किया नहीं पिछलों और दलितों के लिए, इसलिए जनता ने आपको बार बार नकारा है. And I just want to remind him, after your leader Moid Khan raped a young minor Dalit girl, your Akhilesh Yadav said पहले DNA testing करवाओ. ये 12 साल की बच्ची का रेप हुआ भी था या नहीं? योर लीडर वीरेंद्र पाल रेप 14-year-old गर्ल. अगेन अखिलेश यादव से, अरे भैया पहले तो डीएनए टेस्ट करवाओ. वीरेंद्र पाल जी के खिलाफ क्यों एलिगेशंस लगा रहे हो? किसी भाषण देना.
Sum this up.
Yeah, you know, first of all, Pranesh, to reply to Monojit Mandal, on 30th March 2023, Mamata Banerjee said, celebrate Ram Navami, but don't enter Muslim areas. तो आपने नाम खराब दिया बंगाल का. Don't here relate Mamata Banerjee to Bengal. You are not Bengal. Justice Pardiwala also said that I have never seen a worse botch-up in investigation that happened in my 36 years of career. So the fact of the matter is, when you suppress democracy, when you jail cartoonists for 11 years, as in case of Professor Mahapatra, then you are curbing freedom of speech. You are responsible for it. So rather than pointing fingers at us and others, you need to set Bengal in order where you are actually curbing freedom of speech. Still, we'll not say let's have a war against the state. We'll say have a protest against the practices of a certain government. Try and make a distinction between the two, Tariq Khan.
Okay.
There is a distinction between a protest and
let's
dissent
move on,
and
viewers. Let's shift our attention to the other big story we are tracking.